Well, ladies and gentlemen, it looks like with Netflix's live action One Piece, people have decided to draw their line, so to speak. You know, this show had everybody praising it. Everybody on every side of the aisle was praising this TV show. They were saying it's one of the greatest iterations of an anime they have seen in a very long time. It's probably one of the top live action anime adaptations made by any kind of Western creator. It was really getting a lot of praise, and rightfully so. You know, I just started watching this show. I'm a few episodes in, but it is actually very good. Obviously, there are things, some things anyway, that are wrong with it, but overall, it is a pretty damn solid show so far. Now, why am I talking about Netflix One Piece? Well, there is an article from Bounding Into Comics that I heavily disagree with, and that's usually not the case, okay? Normally, when I report on Bounding Into Comics, I usually agree with most of what it has to say. But I feel as if the creator of this article, John F. Trent, I have nothing against the guy. I just feel as if Bounding Into Comics is trying to find a boogeyman where there is not a boogeyman. You get what I'm saying? So apparently, now they wrote an article that says Netflix's One Piece encourages transgender ideology by having Morgana Davies play KOBY. Now, if you guys are unaware, KOBY obviously is a male character in the actual manga and the anime. Even though he has very feminine traits overall, you know, pink hair and all that good stuff, he is still a male character at the end of the day. Now, a lot of people are saying, well, I never even knew that this person was trans until I was told. I call bullshit. This person has absolutely feminine features all throughout. It is very obvious. I could tell right off the bat watching this TV show before I even found out. I could tell that this was a woman playing a man. Now, with that being said, did this person play KOBY very well? Yes, they did. So far, they played KOBY very, very well. Obviously, there's a lot of discussion going on with the future of the series when KOBY obviously gets a little more masculine and gets a little bit bigger and whatnot. How is this person going to portray KOBY in the future? I get that conversation, but I'm saying overall, right now, they hired a trans person like this person, and they hired them to play a male character. Yes, they did. And this person played the character very well. Now, it's not as if this character is running around throughout the world of One Piece and telling everyone that they're trans and that gender is on a spectrum. You get what I'm saying? I just feel this is looking for a boogeyman where there isn't one, but I'm going to get into it. So let's get into this article, guys, from Bounding Into Comics. But of course, before we do, just consider hitting that subscribe button if you're new here. I'm Shadow Ban as hell, and like the video to push us out into the YouTube algorithm. So it says Netflix's One Piece, which has dominated the streaming service's viewing charts for the past 2 weeks, encourages transgender ideology by casting Morgana Davies, a young woman who now claims to be a man, to play KOBY. Having watched 7 of the 8 episodes, the series itself throughout its storylines does not actually push this transgender ideology. Ironically, there's a scene that makes it very clear that men and women are different. In a flashback sequence, Shimatsuki Kuina tells Zoro, "You'll surpass me in size, strength, and speed. Eventually, you'll surpass me in everything." When Zoro informs her that's dumb, she retorts, "No, that's nature. I'm small now and fast, but soon all the boys will get taller and stronger. Their arms will be longer than mine." Zoro then questions, "Who cares about that kind of stuff?" Kuina responds, "Don't you get it? Girls can beat boys, but no woman can beat a man." While Kuina makes it clear that there are distinct physical differences between men and women, Zoro encourages her to make a vow with him that they will continue to push each other until one of them becomes the greatest swordsman. Now, that overall statement, there's nothing wrong with that. Obviously, we all know, aside from the woke crazies over there, we all know that there is biological differences between men and women. This is the entire reason why there was 2 different sports to begin with. This is why biological men should not be competing against biological women. I've been very against that on my channel with many videos I've made, so I will never change that sentiment. However, we're talking about the acting field, right? Where you are literally a paid professional to play pretend. That is your job. You play pretend, right? So it doesn't shock me that someone who is a biological woman who has decided to transition themselves to a fake man will also want to play a fake man on TV. You get what I'm saying? Like, it's not... I just don't see the big deal. Is this person never supposed to play male roles, I guess, since they're a woman? Who really knows at the end of the day? That's not, historically speaking, that's not accurate. You've had women pretend to be men in TV shows, in movies, and everything, and yeah, it was deemed funny and a joke while it was happening, but it has happened. So this is not anything that is necessarily crazy or out of the realm of possibility. I don't think that them by doing this, they're pushing a transgender ideology. I just think by them doing this, they're trying to go for their ESG scores and try to make more money and get more funding that way. So then it says, while the show seemingly acknowledges the differences between men and women, it doesn't necessarily rebuke transgender ideology, which claims that women can become men and vice versa. And it's this ideology that Netflix and the show's production company Tomorrow Studios embrace with the casting of Davies as KOBY. Again, I really feel like you're reaching. I feel like you're looking for a boogeyman because, again, bounding into comics and a lot of different media websites, they cheered this show on. They celebrated this show, and most of them didn't even realize, I don't know how, because you can see from a mile away just from facial features alone and the neck as well, but you can tell that this is a woman. But anyway, they couldn't tell. Like, a lot of people didn't even realize that this was a woman until they were told, until this person was outed by a news organization. They were outed by a news organization about being a stunning and brave person for being trans in One Piece. And after that article came out, suddenly all of these other media websites decided to say, oh, well, the show is great and all, but it still has a trans person in it. You get what I'm saying? So it's either trans people never allowed to work, which I don't agree with necessarily, especially in the acting field. Again, they're professional pretenders. They can pretend to be literally anything. If you have men cross-dressing as girls as a joke, right? Big Mama's House, for example, why can't you have this person playing KOBY? You know what I mean? It's literally a anime adaptation. It's going to be wild and out there and not believable in the slightest to begin with. So I just don't see the point in arguing as to why KOBY cannot be played by this person, especially when, for the most part, they played KOBY very well. And again, I'm not the type of person to normally defend trans people. Don't get me wrong. I don't agree with the ideology at all. I think it's absolutely stupid. But when we're talking about work here and we're talking about literally acting, I mean, if anybody's going to play this role and act out and fake being a man, it's probably going to be a trans person. They do it all the time. You get what I'm saying? So there really is no point in arguing over this. But again, I feel like people are looking for boogeymen where they don't exist sometimes. It says, back in 2021, Davies spoke with Vogue, revealing that she informed her parents that she thought she was a boy at the age of 13. She told the outlet, at 13, I came out as trans just to Mum and Catherine, her trusted agent and friend Catherine Poltram, and a few close friends. She added, I was going through a lot of thinking, who the F am I and where am I going? In fact, Davies admits she was confused. I wanted to act again, but it's really hard to put yourself on the screen because as soon as you do, people make assumptions about who you are. It's so public. I wasn't even ready to leave my room, let alone go on a TV show and be like, hey, I'm Morgan. I didn't even know it was Morgan. I was really confused. Interestingly, Davies also revealed around the age of 10, she attended the Cannes Film Festival for her role in The Tree. While at the film festival, Davies recounted how she was regularly attending nightclubs. Why is a 10-year-old attending nightclubs? This is the problem with Hollywood, and this is a much bigger issue. A lot of these kids are being groomed in Hollywood. A lot of them are just being abused in many different ways, mentally, physically, whatever. They're being abused. Why is a 10-year-old going to a freaking nightclub? And why is this okay? Like, why are we having this conversation as if this is okay? This is just crazy. He also said, I had no idea about the gravity of the festival. I wore Crocs. I was insane. I was going to nightclubs. I was with Kristen Dunst at 3 a.m., but my main memory of Cannes was getting room service when I got back, mac and cheese. It's likely Davies would also have used One Piece show to push transgender ideology onto fans of the series through the show's promotional tour. She previously pushed the ideology in an interview with Vogue, saying, I think we need more diversification behind the camera. There are trans stories, but not being written or directed or lit by a trans person. Davies has also made it clear she wants the transgender ideology normalized through acting. While talking about her role in The Blaze, she even said, even though it's a very small part, there was no mention of gender. I was just playing a dude. Well, exactly. See, exactly. Like if you are a trans man, right? The entire thing is that you are pretending to be a dude. That's the whole point, right? So why would you be mad if they didn't mention gender? You know what I mean? Like you want to pretend to be a dude, and now you have an opportunity to play a dude. So play the freaking dude. Why does it have to be mentioned about the gender? Like, if you want people to really believe you're a man, just be a man. Just you're on screen. Be a man. Like I don't get the need to want to talk about the gender. So again, this is where I disagree with the actress, where she's trying to make it seem like, oh, we should dive deeper into this and make it a hell of a lot more complicated than it should be. No, you are an actress, right? Like you're being hired to play a dude. And she says, even though it's a very small part, there was no mention of gender. I was just playing a dude. That's because you are trying to pretend to be a dude, so play the dude. I don't know. I don't agree with that at all. So again, it goes both ways, right? I feel like people on our side usually are starting to look for boogeymen where they don't exist, right? Because that's where the money's at. That's where the views are at. That's where the rage clicks are at. You know what I mean? And I have to be nuanced and I have to have the conversation just like I do on my live streams. And sometimes I lose subscribers because they don't want to hear that nuanced conversation. Everybody's looking for that next rage click. Everybody's looking for that next thing to be angry about. And we absolutely could be angry at shit that matters, right? But when it comes to someone like this who is playing the role of KOBY, they were gonna get the role regardless. You want to call her a diversity hire? I'm down. I'm totally down because she probably was a diversity hire. And that is a conversation for a whole nother day. And we can get into that. And we have gotten into that. But ultimately, she played KOBY very well. Nobody knew she was even a girl. Most people didn't even know she was a girl until it was revealed by the news agency that outed her. So again, she played KOBY very well, in my opinion. I don't really see this as a big deal. I don't consider this pushing transgender ideology because, again, it was never mentioned. Even the actress even admits that it was never mentioned, and she wanted it mentioned, and it never was. So either Netflix did that or Ichiro Oda did that. Whoever did that, they still decided to say, you know what? The story takes precedence over the woke nonsense of pushing that ideology. And the fact that that even happened makes me happy. And again, I think Oda was probably the one who did that over Netflix. But at the end of the day, Oda gave the blessing for all of this is going on in the show. He gave the blessing for the race swap. He gave the blessing for a female playing KOBY. So it is what it is, man. Respect Oda's wishes. And if he wants to get woke, that's all on him. But at the end of the day, trans people are allowed to have jobs too. And if they're going to play anything, it's going to be in acting, where they basically act their entire day and their entire life. So they might as well put it on screen, in my opinion. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you did enjoy it. And if you did, consider leaving me a subscribe. I would greatly appreciate it. Don't forget to like the video, comment, let me know what you thought, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Hypnotic out.